people who were supposed witnesses died in mysterious ways in elevator shafts and what have you. And that probably is still the most famous conspiracy theory of all time. Now, we've all seen the Zapruder film, okay? And questions are still being asked about it, okay? And it's true, some of the statements don't add up. But really, most of them do. And let me explain to you when I changed my mind on conspiracy theories. It was because I changed my mind on the Kennedy assassination. Several years ago, I was in Dallas, Texas. And I've told this story before, so bear with me if you've heard it. But several years ago, I was in Dallas, Texas. And I had an opportunity to have a little bit of free time. I flew out very early in the morning, saw my customer in Dallas. I didn't have anything else to do that day except drive to Waco, Texas for my next morning meeting. Waco, Texas is probably about an hour and a half drive from Dallas, okay? And it was fairly early in the day. It was about noontime. So I got a bite to eat, and I had more time to kill. Yeah, I could drive down to Waco and get there by 2:30 in the afternoon and then do what? Or what is in Dallas that I could maybe want to look at? I know. I'll go to Dealey Plaza, where President Kennedy was shot, and I'll check it out. And folks, I spent a lot of time in Dealey Plaza, and they've got it all laid out. Here's the window where the shot came from. Here's Kennedy's motorcade. Here's what happened. Here's the grassy knoll. Here's this. Here's that. Folks, that wasn't that tough of a shot, okay? I've probably shot a gun 10 different times in my life. Not a lot, okay? But I know enough that, okay, you shoot a gun, you understand it goes right, left, up, down, you sight it in, you get ready, and pretty much you can hit a target. I can hit a target. Not maybe a moving target, but a stationary target pretty regularly, okay? And I'm just a guy who has never been in the military. And like I said, I've shot a gun about 10 times in my life, not very often. Lee Harvey Oswald was a Marine sharpshooter, okay? Marine Corps is in my opinion, the premier best of our armed forces, the best of the best, the Marines. This guy was a sharpshooter in the U.S. Marine Corps. So I would have to think he'd have to be something better than your average Joe. And again, this was not a tough shot. The window was not that high up. The car went right past the window, okay? It wasn't that tough of a shot. And I thought to myself, why are these people saying this isn't possible? Because to me, it was very possible. It wasn't a big deal, okay? It's kind of odd. And I thought to myself, this conspiracy theory for the Kennedy assassination is baloney, as are most conspiracy theories. And here's why. Let's just say the Kennedy assassination, that conspiracy theory was, let's say it was good. Let's say it was for real. Let's say it really was some type of government conspiracy because they wanted to get rid of him. It was Johnson, or it was the Republicans, or it was the mafia, or it was the labor unions. Let's say some of that was true. Government officials had to be involved. Agreed? Now, here's my opinion on government officials. They're not that smart. They're not stupid. I don't think any government officials, the guys at the top or the gals at the top, I don't think they're stupid. But they're not that smart. They're not Rhodes Scholar smart. Okay, Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar, but you know what I mean, okay? They're not dummies, but they're not Elon Musk. They're not Thomas Edison. They're not Bill Gates. They're not Steve Jobs, okay? They're smart guys, but they're not that smart guys, okay? And they tend to look out for themselves, okay? Mainly when it comes to money. And I say that because while congressmen and senators, and I'll use them as an example, they make a good living. They don't make a ton of money when you consider you've got to keep up two households. And one of them is in Washington D.C., where it's not cheap. Okay, so you've got to run two households on that money. Now, if you're making $250,000 a year, Okay, you're going to live a good life, even if you're maintaining 2 households. But some of these guys have hundreds of millions of dollars. Where do you think they got that? It's not by stashing their per diem money in their back pocket and going to McDonald's instead of spending their $30 a day someplace else. That's not how they made it. They feathered their own nest and they looked out for themselves. That's how the vast majority of them work. I would say virtually all of them who have been in Washington for more than a few years, that's how they work, okay? They're out for themselves. And if they thought they could blow the whistle and make some money, at least one of them certainly would have. And none of them have. People in general, just not government officials, okay? But people in general can't keep a secret. They just can't. They blab it to everybody. I mean, look at all the tell-all books out there, okay? People can't stand not to run their mouths and talk to other people about other things. That's just how we are, okay? People in general can't keep a secret, not just government people, all people. Deep, dark, generations-long secrets happen only in the movies, okay? They don't happen in real life. They just don't. If it's that deep, if it's that conspiracy-driven, if it's that dark, somebody's going to say, hey, I want my cut. Or, hey, I can get a bigger cut if I blow the whistle on this, okay? Even my favorite conspiracy theory, Clinton Inc., okay, where countless people have died under mysterious circumstances after crossing the Clintons. That one really doesn't pan out either, okay? Because no one has really come clean on Clinton Inc., you know, and that's what I call the whole Clinton machine, Clinton Incorporated, like Murder Incorporated, okay, the old mafia thing. That's just my goofy moniker for it. But it really doesn't pan out either if you think about it. Sure, there's a lot of people who died under mysterious circumstances, Vince Foster, etc. In fact, I was reminded of that as I drove past Fort Marcy Park, because I flew in and out of, will fly out of Reagan National Airport. But nobody's come clean on the Clintons, and they can't kill them all. They just can't, okay? Now, parts of the Clinton conspiracy theory are for real. I mean, Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broaddrick. I mean, those are all true stories. Don't take my word, in my opinion, of course. Don't take my word for it. Ask Monica Lewinsky, okay? No one died trying to cover up their stories. Nobody, okay? They came out and Clinton said, it was all a lie. Except with Monica Lewinsky, he couldn't prove it was a lie because of the stain on the blue dress. The others couldn't come up with that proof, so it's he said, she said. But what does it prove? What does it really prove? The Paula Jones, the Kathleen Willey, the Juanita Broaddrick, the countless others, women who have come forward saying that Clinton raped them, fondled them, disrespected them, whatever. What does it prove? It proves that Bill Clinton is a sex-crazed sociopath at worst, or just a whoremonger at best. And think about it. Is there anyone really that denies that? Everybody kind of understands that. I mean, some laugh when they say it. Others, they don't laugh, but they kind of smile and say, well, yeah, that's Bill being Bill. But nobody denies it. So it's not really a conspiracy theory, okay? There are gray areas, but it's not a conspiracy theory, okay? And like I said, once upon a time, conspiracy theories used to be fun. Back in the days of Art Bell. The Trilateral Commission, the Bilderbergers, the Rothschilds, the Lost Ark hidden by the Nazis, Nazi gold, the City of Gold, El Dorado, Atlantis. And all those are based in a bit of fact, okay? For instance, Trilateral Commission, Bilderbergers, Rothschilds, they're men who have lots of money. And throughout history, and as history continues, men with money will have more power than men without money. Now, a couple years ago, I did a podcast on the Bilderbergers, the Trilateral Commissions, and all this kind of stuff. And they're really not the big, deep, dark secret that everyone thinks they are. In fact, the Trilateral Commission, they meet every year, and they make the minutes of their meetings public. You can read them if you want to. Go to their website, okay? So they're not a big conspiracy theory. They're just a group of guys, I think gals now, who get together. They're very influential, and they say, how can we make the world better? It's not how can we take over the world. It's how can we make the world better. Now, if you want to call that a globalist, maybe. But the only way you're going to improve is by anything, including the world, is to work together. And if everybody from a lot of different countries are working together to make life better for everyone, at least in theory, is that a globalist agenda? Maybe. But that's what conspiracy theories used to be all about. They were kind of fun, okay? The lost city of Atlantis, okay? I think it exists someplace because you see all kinds of lost cities that are under the ocean, okay? Atlantis could have just been one of them, okay? The El Dorado city of gold. The Incas and the Aztecs stashed all kinds of gold in different places, okay? Those are, again, conspiracy theories based in facts. Conspiracy theories aren't fun anymore. They're not based in facts, and they're just basically ugly and hateful. Today, anyway. I'll give you some examples. Barack Obama wasn't born here. He was born in Kenya. Nope, he wasn't. He was born in Hawaii. His wife is a man. Nope. Michelle Obama's a woman. She had 2 children. Okay? Hundreds of thousands of children are being killed and eaten by the globalists. No. Hundreds of thousands of children aren't even going missing a year. Okay? Not hundreds of thousands. Dozens. But I don't think they're being eaten by the globalists so they can live life forever as virtual vampires, okay? The Roman Catholic Church is based in pedophilia. No, they're not. They're not based in pedophilia. They're based on the Word of Christ. There are certainly pedophiles in the Roman Catholic Church. And in the past, maybe even today, the church isn't doing what they should be doing. They're not doing as much as what they should be doing by getting rid of them. But that's not what the church is based on. The knotheads who stormed the Capitol, they were never a true threat to government. They were never going to conduct a coup d'etat on the government. That was never, ever going to happen. It was like an Antifa, except for there were fat old guys. And they were never going to be a real threat, okay? That was never going to happen, okay? Now, however, in spite of all these revelations, my beliefs based in facts, there remains one conspiracy theory that lives on, one conspiracy theory that continues to survive and is becoming more and more credible by the day. Are you ready? That's right. UFOs are real. Now, before you say, oh, you roll your eyes, here goes Strong again on his stupid UFOs, I guess he's probably going to try to wind Bigfoot into this too. But consider millions of sightings by people have been documented. Millions, okay? Now, many of them are explained, many of them are not. And no one ever believed the government explanations once upon a time. And again, J. Allen Hynek was a paid debunker who became a believer after he started seeing more and more and more. But nobody believed the swamp gas. Nobody believes ball lightning. Nobody believes the planet Venus. For some of these, sure. But not most. Certainly not all. Now, unexplained sightings continue to increase all the time. And they become more and more mainstream. The Phoenix Lights. The mayor of Phoenix, Fife Symington, or was he the governor of Colorado or mayor of Phoenix? I forget which. But he came out after he left office and said, look, I saw those Phoenix Lights, and I kind of made fun of them at the time, but this was real. This was something. I have no idea what these were, but this wasn't people making stuff up. I saw them and I believed it. That was the mayor of Phoenix. And again, he may have been the governor of Arizona. I forget which. The Stevensville Lights in Stevensville, Texas. This went on for months, every night sometimes. And the more recent ones, Colonel Favor and the Tic Tac UFOs off the coast of California. And most recently, the very most recent one is the pyramid UFOs. Okay, and you may have read about that last week. I think I posted something on my Facebook page about that. If not, I will. But the pyramid UFOs, these last two sightings, the pyramid UFOs